Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, a show about baseball, dreams, and family. I'm John Gonzalez, the dad, and if you're new to the show or you're familiar with the show, it's a dad and his sons talking about the game they love. On today's podcast, we have two of the three, and probably of any days at all that we're recording, this is a good day for son number three not to be on the podcast. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's say hello to son number one. He's based in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's the Mariners fan. It's Zach Gonzalez. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for our guest tonight, so I'm ready to go.
I am too. Super excited for this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Also joining us from Grand Rapids, Michigan, it's son number two, Ty Gonzalez. He is our resident Mets fan. How you doing, Ty?
Doing awesome. Loving the first month of the season, MLB season so far. Could be a Tigers Mets World Series if we ended today, right?
Man, let's do it. Tigers Mets. I'm saying Tigers in a sweep, 4 games. Right there you go. No chance for the Mets. But son number three is Zane Gonzalez. He is our Red Sox fan. He's based in South Bend, Indiana, and he's not with us today because the team took their postseason tournament yesterday and today, and today not a good day, right, Zach?
Yeah, a really close game that they had against Olivet Nazarene. Came down to the ninth inning, and they just couldn't push that last run across.
They had runners on base. Zane is the associate head coach at the Indiana University South Bend Titans in South Bend, Indiana. Their season in the Chicagoland Conference wrapping up in their postseason tournament going on right now. But his season's done, so we'll have to get him back on the podcast, right, Ty?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
No
Off season.
excuses.
No
Off-season.
excuses. His off season starts. Let's say recruiting starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But that's my best impression of Zane. Zach, let's kind of introduce our next guest here because if you're people that watch the show know that this we're all over the place. Sometimes we'll talk about Major League Baseball, which is a lot, minor league baseball, the college ranks. We even followed a team all the way to Little League World Series a few years ago. So we do a little bit of everything. We talk about how baseball shapes our lives, right, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since we were little kids. And today's guest, former classmate of mine, someone I grew up with. I think he was even maybe on one of our little league teams, the dad back in the day. But we're awesome. We're really excited. So Dad reached out to me and the boys, and he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about sponsoring a little league team. We can buy a Big League Dreaming the podcast little league team. Do we want to do this?" And we're all like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we've officially sponsored a team, and one of the coaches for the Big League Dreaming podcast little league team is my friend, former teammate, Brian Kerr, and his son Kaysen's on the team, and he's joining us today to give us the breakdown of what our podcast little league team is looking like this year.
How you
So,
doing, Brian?
what's up,
Good.
Brian?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you on the show, but like Zach said, you're a classmate, a former player.
Yep.
You're a Comstock Park graduate. What year did you graduate?
'07 with Zach.
Oh, you are definitely classmates for sure.
Yeah,
Then
we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember having you as my coach several years. I remember going out to Adrian one time. We did a little tournament out there one time.
you were on that team. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, was Jake West on that team?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, that's some classic memories there. We'll have to talk about that one later. But let's
Yeah.
talk about your team right now. So
Yeah.
you're in Northwest Little League,
Yep.
District 9,
Yep.
in Michigan, and you're in Comstock Park. And you grew up playing Little League baseball, just like the boys, just like Zach, just like Ty.
Yep.
I think Zane had the shortest career in Little League baseball, but that's a different topic for a different day since he's not here. How surreal is it for you? As a dad now with what do you got? 4 kids?
Yeah, I do.
Four kids, and you're coaching and you're involved on the Little League board, right? I mean,
Yep.
you're super involved. And what's it like for you to be out there on these same fields that you guys played on as kids?
It definitely is surreal. Once you graduate and you're living life and you step away from those ball fields for years. It's probably 10 years before I finally got back to the ball fields, and then I'm looking around like, man, all the memories that I have there. And like you said, 4 kids now. I got 3 of them playing in the league. I'm assisting coaching on 2 of their teams right now. and it's awesome watching them go out there with their classmates and friends and just having a blast and starting to love the game, you know. And like you said, I am on the board at Northwestern Little League. I am the 8U youth director, so I help put together the T-ball, coach pitch, and minor one baseball teams.
Now, before Zach asks you a question or Ty, I got to ask you one more thing, and that's, did you ever have aspirations of playing professional baseball? Because I remember you were pretty good. You were a good player, good middle infielder, had a good arm, could hit the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when we were growing up, that was the home run race. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire. I mean, who didn't want to be Ken Griffey Jr.? Who didn't want to be a Major League Baseball player during that era? I mean, you know, um, I I I was decent, but I think I did have a love for football a little bit more than baseball. But it was it was something that I knew I could always go back to and play with my friends, and something I love doing.
Brian had the speed, so he was just out there to snag bases.
I bunted quite a few times. Yes, sir.
Give him the old bunt sign, right, Ty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has the Little League done many like upgrades to the fields and the facilities? I mean, I'm sure as time has gone on, they've done things like compared to it was when we played. What does the Little League look like these days? Because I've gone to the high school fields, like the Comstock Park High School field is basically on site, and Northwest Little League uses
Yeah.
that field for their Little League as well. But like, what are the 8U fields looking like these days?
They are getting old, but every year we are investing the money. It's a nonprofit, so all the money goes back into the program, into the fields. Um, we just had to put some new shingles and roofs on the concession stand and the equipment shed. There's some fencing that always has to be fixed up or replaced. Bringing in dirt for the fields or seeding the grass, in the outfields. Buying They just bought a new tractor and lawnmower a couple years ago, and there's a lot of people that put a lot of time into the up. I mean, we have 7 fields up there, so the upkeep on that alone, just mowing the grass, is hours on end. So we have a good group right now on the board. There's a lot of people pitching in to help. A couple years ago, about 4 years ago, there was down to like 4 people on the board, and just a new wave of people came in. We probably have 10 to 12 that are helping out on the board, and then many other volunteers that are stepping up. So it's going strong right now.
Ty, can you believe that we have a Big League Dreaming podcast Little League team? I mean, our team with our logo for the podcast is playing on the fields that you guys. Oh, here Brian's going to bring out the jersey. Look at
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Especially since we got connections with Brian here and it's our hometown, so it's really cool to see. I need to get a breakdown of this roster though.
Okay. Well, yeah. So like we said, we have 10 players on our team this year, um, and this is 8U, so mostly 7 and 8 year olds, and so they're still obviously in the learning stage. There's a lot to that they need to know going into the game. But we have Calvin Anderson, Daxton Bender, Owen Bristol, Bennett Cunningham, Rowan Hansen, my son Kason Kerr, Leo Martinez. That sounds like a baseball name right there. Pedro Morales, Oliver Shafsma, and Brody Varney. And you guys probably recognize Shafsma. That's Adams Shafsma's son is on the team.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And Hanson, is that one of the Hanson brothers?
Hansons, yeah.
Steve Hansen's son Rowan, and Steve is one of the other assistant coaches. It's
Wow.
not Josh Hansen, but yeah, another Hansen, yeah. So yeah, we have a decent team. We did a draft early March. Everybody came, did evaluations, and then each team selected their players, and that's because at the end of the year we have just a 4-team tournament. Um, and we just wanted to make it fair and competitive and not have blowouts every game. And everything went well. And so far, the season's going good. Lost the first one 15-4. They were hitting the ball hard against us. And we still have a lot to work on there in the field. But then we came back the next game and got a victory 8-1, and the kids are really showing improvement. So far so good. Our next game is on Saturday.
So our team is 1-1 and probably tied for first place, let's say, right?
We are in second. There's the team we lost to is 2-0 now.
Well, we definitely, guys, will have to catch a game or, live stream it or something, or do a podcast from the fields. I mean, that would be a lot of fun. But
That would be cool.
that's just that's so awesome, Brian, that you're involved with Little League. I got to ask the guys though, what do you remember most about your Little League days, Zach?
Oh man. I don't know. I feel like I just remember pitching a lot. Like really like that's what a lot of my memories are is pitching and defense because that's what I like to do the most. So really just like throwing to Jake West and Jeff Karazinski and just like being out there and thinking that I had all these pitches like for number one, I'm gonna throw my sinker, and number two, I'm gonna throw my fastball. So like it'll throw off the runners at second base. When Jake West puts down a two, I'm actually throwing this. Yeah, they're just like super into it, and just like super, just all of the youthful first memories where you're just super invested all the time, just like having a blast.
How about you, Ty?
I mean, for Little League Northwest, I got a ton of memories, but some of my favorite, man, is that concession stand. After the game, you get 2 tickets and you get whatever you want at the concession stand. Get a hot dog and some Big League Chew or whatever you want. I loved that. You guys still do that?
They don't do the tickets. A lot of the parents now just sign up for a game and they'll bring a snack. On sponsor day, the team all gets free hot dogs on that day. But yeah, I do remember those tickets. Those were sweet.
Yeah, I loved those tickets. That and
The
then
malt cups with the wooden spoons.
yeah, yep. And then I also loved the team we had, Dad, when we brought out we talk about it all the time, the rally log.
The rally log, yeah, Brian. You probably don't remember the rally log. Although there's probably people still talk about it there at Northwest Little League Fields. The
I think
rally
he's buried.
log.
I think he's buried there.
Why don't you give people the quick story of the rally log, Ty?
Yeah, quick. I'll make it quick. So I was walking home from Stony Creek one day, and there was this giant, like, in this guy.
How old were you?
I think I was in second grade, so 9, maybe 8 or 9. And this guy right there by Stony Creek had a ton of wood in his front yard. A tree must have fell down, free wood. So I grabbed this giant log and brought it home, and I carved eyes into it with a knife and brought it to the ball field for everyone. And it was the rally log, and I think we had the best game of our season with that thing, and it's sitting in our dugout watching the game with us. We won a close one and all ran around the bases after holding up the log. Just so funny.
Little League at its best, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that rally log! What a story! That was a lot of fun, Brian. So you mentioned that you played on a couple of my teams. When I coached, do you remember what team, what ages?
I want to say it was early on. Probably, I think, like Coach Pitch minor 1 age. I think. I think maybe minor 2 as well. But I remember having you as a coach, definitely.
Zach, what year was it that we had that super stacked team? I mean, it's like everyone on that team was super
Yeah.
loaded.
Yeah, I think it was minors too.
I think I remember Michael Rodema was on the team.
Yeah.
I might have been Jeff Karazinski. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff Karazinski, Adam Gilbert, Levi Francis, Brian, Josh Ricala,
Josh Ricala.
and
Oh yeah.
probably a couple others. I feel like Jeff Karazinski texted me that team photo like a couple years ago. And I sent it to my dad, and just all of the memories just came rushing back with him and Bruce Ricala coaching our team, and they got their jeans on.
Yep.
The stonewashed jeans. Yeah, I mean that
great.
team was complete. Did we lose a game? I don't think so. I mean, we might have lost 1 game, but I don't think we lost a game that year.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but
Super
I know
load.
we were one of the best for sure.
Yeah, it was like run after run after run. And then I remember one guy from Algoma Little League saying, man, your son, he's just mowing us down.
Yeah, I always remember Zach at first base with that long reach and being left-handed, putting that right hand out.
Oh yeah, yeah, those are some good memories. And then Zane played 1 year a little league, and I just remember Zane hitting all those home runs.
Yeah, yeah, they had to kick him out of the league because he just hit a home run every time.
Oh, jeez.
Do you still have the short fence there over in the t-ball fields?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I still remember that one photo mom got of umpire Evan Carrier after Zane hit that home run. Evan's just like getting into the home run signal.
Man, so Brian, what do you love about coaching as opposed to playing? I mean, there's probably a bigger reward as a coach these days.
Oh, there definitely is. You know, I love when the kids make a decent play, good play, how excited they get, and looking around, seeing who saw that, and just a big smile on their face. Last night, my oldest boy had a game, so it's mine are two, 9 and 10-year-old, and there was a ball. It was hit well into the outfield, and this kid was running out there. He just threw out his glove, and the ball just happened to fall right in it. And everyone's going crazy, and like no one expected that to happen, but that was just made the game for him. And just seeing moments like that is just awesome because especially if your son did that, it feels better than if you did it yourself too. But overall, just trying to teach these kids not only the game but the game of life along with it, being good sports, having good sportsmanship, um, being a good teammate, kind to others, stuff like that I enjoy along with the process.
That's part of the Little League motto too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, well, that's great. I mean, so getting back to the roster, okay, so you kind of glossed over some, went through the names quickly here. Who
Yeah.
is your stud? I mean, who's batting in the cleanup spot? That's what I want to know.
Uh,
Or do you
well,
rotate everyone?
well, right now, the three coaches' sons are three big guns. Rowan Hansen, Brody Varney, and my son Kason Kerr. We have them right in the heart of the lineup, and those were our top three picks as well. So, um, yeah, they can pretty much. So at this age, we're doing machine pitch. So we have a mechanical machine like a catapult, but it's putting the balls in there pretty well and pretty good speed. I'd say not too much slower than a kid throwing the ball. So it's getting them ready for minor two. So right now you get in the beginning of the season we start out with you get 7 pitches. You can swing at them all, but if you don't get that seventh pitch, you're out. And then towards the middle of the season, once they've gotten a little bit of hang of it, then we turn to 3 swings and you're out to get them used to the actual baseball rules. Um, and so, yeah, we have those three in the heart of the lineup. They're getting hits almost every time. And then we have others that are still, working their way into it and obviously need a little more reps at it. It might be their first year in it, but we're getting there.
Zach, you coached t-ball, I think last year or 2 years ago. What's the toughest thing at coaching at that level? That 5, 6, 7, 8 year old level. What were some of the challenges there?
Yeah, 2 falls ago, my oldest daughter, she played t-ball. Um, I feel like the challenge, because that was like 4.5, 5, 6 year olds, and feel like a challenge that I really had was trying to move everybody around defensively so they could all like kind of try different positions. And we had like 2 kids who were just really good, especially this one boy who was just like locked in like shortstop status, and he would have to go play like outfield or first base, and you just want to like go and field the ball, go and get the ball because the other kids weren't watching or paying attention. And you know, I wanted to like coach that kid more and be like, hey, put your feet like this and funnel the ball and throw it. But I'm like, I need to chill out because everybody's just out here to have fun. Like they're all having fun. Give them all experience at different spots. So that was a challenge for me, is like being like, hey, you're gonna sit the bench this inning, or oh, you're gonna be in outfield this inning, when really he should be at like pitcher or shortstop the whole time.
Yeah, that's a challenge, because you have different, I think that's one of the reasons that we eventually got out of Little League because we wanted to have everyone playing at a higher level. Nothing against Little League. I mean, I think it's great teaching the basics. Everyone is there for different reasons, but that's why travel ball exploded back in the day because people were looking for teams at a higher level, and that's not to say that it's not to say that the players that are looking at fundamentals are lower. It's just a different level. That's all. Um, Ty, I want to ask you because speaking of Little League days, you have a friend that always left a memory on me when he played, whether it was T-ball or minor one, Bradley Watasic. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember Brad. Still hang out with him every now and then.
Do you remember
Yeah,
what he was like on the field at that age?
Brad was like the most into it, most passionate kid out there. Like he just wanted to win. Like it was all or nothing for him. He just gave it his all.
I just remember he'd be at shortstop, field the ball, and then run it over to first base because he didn't trust the first baseman to catch it,
Yep.
and you get
Yep.
the guy out.
Yep.
Or he'd run out to center field and grab the ball from the center fielder and throw it home.
It's funny
Yep,
you
that's
say that.
Brad.
It's funny you say that because my oldest last night we had a minor two game and he was playing catcher and he's pretty quick and he doesn't always trust the other players. So when the ball gets by him, he's running to the backstop. He grabs it. He's running back to dive to try to get the guy coming home from third instead of just flipping it to the pitcher. And sometimes he gets them, but other times you're like, oh, you gotta flip to the pitcher.
I'm not doing that. Pitcher can't catch,
I know.
can't throw. He can't throw the ball, obviously. So how can he catch it?
He's not covering home, coach. What
Yeah,
do I
yeah,
do?
that's a lot of the bigger issue right there. Yeah.
Uh, Explain the atmosphere. I have not been to a Little League game in forever since I probably last coached. What's it like in the stands? I mean, grandmas, grandpas. I'm sure that's what kind of what it's all about, right?
Yeah, yeah, grandma's grandpa, grandparents there. It's pretty. It can get pretty intense. So our first game, minor two, we were out there. It's an hour and 45 minute time limit, and we're getting. It's like an hour and 42 minutes, and you can start an inning if you're before that. And so we're like, all right, one more inning. Well, when you do one more, the last inning in that age is unlimited runs. Otherwise, it's 5 run limit. We start this inning, and all of a sudden, our pitchers cannot throw a strike. Ball, walk after walk after walk after walk. 20 runs later on us, 45 minutes later, we end at a 2.5 hour game time. That's like a major league game or more. And a lot of the fans were not too thrilled about that. um, but other than that, it can get pretty competitive. Everybody seems to be pretty cool with the umps. We've had some younger, teenage umps that are calling it within the batter box lines and like, it's a big strike zone. So that's what you want. You want kids swinging at that age, but also the balls you can't reach it with a bat. It shouldn't be a strike either. So there's a fine line of, you know, keeping your cool there too.
Has it gotten better? Because I mean, I know that sportsmanship, especially among the fans, has been written about and talked about a lot over. I think, especially when you guys were playing, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
seemed like it was just getting out of control. There was always stories about fights and this and that. What is that like now? Is it still some of that going on, or has
No,
it quieted down?
it's gotten a lot better. I would say in the past, 4 years that I've been around and been watching games, I haven't seen too many incidents that we've had to really deal with. I've heard some stories about a couple of things. Last year, there was one coach that talked to an ump after a game for way too long. We had to tell him to, calm down. But as far as the fans go, it's been pretty mild.
You haven't had to kick out any grandmas, right?
No grandma's getting kicked out. No.
Zach, do you have anything else for Brian?
What what was the speaking of parents, what was the parents and grandparents' reaction when they saw their kid's jersey said Big League Dreaming podcast? Were they like, "Oh, let me look this up"? Were they like, "What's a podcast?" Were they like, "This is awesome"? What was the How did it go
Yeah,
down?
what the heck is that?
Yeah, I did explain to a couple parents that I asked them, just curious what it was, and so I told them about it, and they said, "Oh, I'll have to check that out." Um, so yeah, I got some pretty good feedback. I haven't heard of anyone yet, talk to them if they've checked it out or not, but I'm sure I will as the season goes on.
Did you pick the teal color, or was that assigned to you guys?
Um, must have been my wife because my wife Leah is actually in charge of the uniforms, so she picks the colors and stuff, and I just stay out of that part of it.
Good job, Leah.
How
Yep, I'll tell her you said that. So
about you, Ty?
Oh man, we just got to get out to a game. This just got me excited to go back to the fields. I mean, like you said earlier, Brian, it's decades before you go back, and
right,
I can't imagine how cool that is coaching your own son there at the field you played at. So definitely got to get out to a game this spring.
yeah, that'd be great.
I have a fun, quick question for you, Coach.
Oh, great.
Uh, do your players have walk-up songs?
Ah,
Because when I was coaching, let's see, this was like 10U a few years back when we were living in Myrtle Beach.
yeah.
I was helping out on a 10U team, and these like travel ball parents would roll in with like this suitcase boombox, and these kids had walk-up songs when every time they came up to bat.
Oh man, that must be more of a southern thing because no, I haven't seen that yet up here. That would be
Okay, it
cool.
might not be allowed.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know, Ty. If we go to the game, we'll just bring a boombox and play some walk-up music regardless, right?
There you
Yeah, we could do that.
go.
We could definitely do that.
All right. The thing I like about little league teams and just youth teams, there's always characters on the team. And
Yeah,
I don't want you to call anybody out, but I mean, I'm assuming you have some characters on your team.
yeah, you're totally correct about that. Yeah, it's always, is the game done yet? And I get a lot of that. When's the game over? Is this the last inning? Yeah, we had our last game. One of them just didn't want to go to play baseball, so he didn't want to go to the game, so he just stayed home. But but for the most part, I mean, they're a lot of fun to be around. That makes you feel younger, like you're out there playing with them too, and you gotta love that.
Any fun questions that they ask, like why am I throwing the ball to third or anything like that? Or
Nothing I can think of. There are, but I can't think of any examples off the top of my head right now. But yeah, you'll definitely chuckle a few times here and there. Oh, well, like yesterday, I was coaching first, and there was a timeout. They were talking to the pitcher. We had to run around. I go, all right,
the
so
pitching machine?
no, well, this is a minor too, but
Oh, matter
it
okay.
all goes hand in hand. But so we can steal after the ball goes past the plate, crosses the plate. You can take off, and we're being aggressive. And every time the ball goes past the catcher, we're telling our kids, "Go, just go. If we give you the sign or not, just go." And so I was talking it through with this kid, and I said, "All right, what happens if he catches it? Oh, I'm just getting my lead. Okay. What happens if it goes past the catcher? I'm going. Okay. Next pitch, ball goes past the catcher. He's just standing there. I'm like, go, go. Oh, yeah. It starts thinking. He made it still, but it's like those things that are just like sometimes you want to pull your hair out, but then you got to remember they're still learning.
Yeah.
Have you had to pitch much when it was like the coach pitch level for your boys?
Oh
Have you
yeah,
been out there
oh yeah.
pitching?
Yep, I do.
What is that pressure like when the kid just cannot hit the ball and you've thrown? What's your max? Like 20 throws?
No, no, they max you out at 5. You can't hit 5 pitches, and then you put it on the tee still at that age.
Okay.
But I always liked going on one knee and doing overhand instead of the underhand, just to try to get them used to seeing that motion of the overhand. And we had, like 2 years ago, a coach pitch team that we had these kids, every single kid, bam, bam, bam. And it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Brian Kerr, we really appreciate you being on today's podcast. He's an assistant coach on the Big League Dreaming podcast team at Northwest Little League in Comstock Park, Michigan, our hometown, where the guys all played. I coached for a lot of years, was on the board as well. So it's really cool to have Big League Dreaming there represented every single night. Well, when you play
Yep.
during the season. When does the season wrap up for you guys?
I think June 7th is our last game.
Okay, it's pretty early then.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll get 12 games. Well, June 11th, because we'll do that little tournament the next week at the end.
Yeah, and then after that, what happens? It's
After
on to
that,
minors too.
yeah, yeah. Yep, we're on to minors too. My youngest boy will be up to minor one next year, so I'll have majors, minor two, and minor one next year.
You're going to be coaching 3 teams next
Yeah,
year.
we'll see. I don't know. I gotta pick and choose. It's hard.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap it up? All right.
I don't think so.
All right, Brian. Well, thanks again. Good luck to the team this year.
Thank you.
We want stats. Please tweet us or text us stats.
Okay.
You know, we should make a bet or something. Not a bet. Hold on. It's probably not good for Little League. We
All
should,
right, Johnny Bench.
That's Pete Rose. Let's see. Not a bet on the game. We should give them an incentive. We should come up with a good incentive. Like we'll buy the team ice cream cones if something. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's got to be out of the park home run.
Yeah.
Out of the park home run.
The team we played
By
against in the
tallies.
first game had 2 that hit the fence.
Whoa.
Oh, that sounds solid then.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good deal to me. Dairy Delight.
Dairy Delight on us if they
When they get their 5th win, Dairy Delight.
5th win, like it.
Okay. All right.
That way, it's like kind of like a mid-season treat, and we're not stealing the thunder of the big post-game party at the post-season party at the Kerr residence.
I see what you did there.
All right, Brian. Well, thanks again for joining us on the podcast. Ty, where can people get more information about Big League Dreaming the podcast?
Yeah, you can listen to us, Big League Dream the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We're also on X at BLD Pod. That's at BLD POD. Follow us on TikTok at Big League Dreaming. And of course, here on YouTube, Saturdays. Stay tuned for new episodes. See you on the next one.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Take care, everyone.